Hi guys. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. I decided to do this. I was like, do I actually want to do this on YouTube? But I want to start doing some tarot reads that have to do a little bit more with the world at large and kind of get some messages out. Now, I want you to understand, I'm not going to be doing anything where I talk bad about politicians or anything like that. What I want to deal with is that which is playing in the background spiritually to everything that is going on in the world. So that's kind of more my aim that I'm looking for to get some messages to you. So I'm going to do it, just kind of go with the flow when I'm going to pop these videos up. I do them on Facebook. I've done them in my group, Spiritually Intuitive Readings. If you're not in my group, you can find me there. Just look up Spiritually Intuitive Readings on Facebook and you can join my group. But let's talk a little bit about what Spirit wants to say. I'm really channeling my higher self, which is connected to Spirit. So when I kind of give these messages, that's especially what I'm trying to channel down. And like I said, I'm not going to be doing little self ideas here. I'm really trying to get a little bit of a higher message. So the very first card is Two of Wands, if you could see that. And most of you tarot readers know that it's like two paths before him. Which one does he take? Which road is he going to go down? So there's a lot of people that are at the fork in the road, and I'm especially speaking hopefully to the awakened people who have been kind of walking one path, and it's really getting to be that time you kind of come out of the closet and you kind of choose the path that's meant for you versus walking down a path that everybody else is going. Just because everybody's going to jump off a bridge does not mean you should do it. You need to really pave your own way. So Spirit is really calling you, there's a path that I have been calling you to for a long time and you keep avoiding it. And that's kind of a message that a Spirit is really trying to get people on the right road, because that particular road, the Spirit road, especially has to do with one's calling, what they're being called to do, their purpose. And a lot of the overall purpose, yes, is to awaken humanity. That's what we're coming to do. That's why our voices need to be heard. Social media, but not just that, even going locally and doing various things that you can do, if it's volunteering, at a soup kitchen or just various things, or, joining a certain nonprofit organization that helps save animals, just whatever it is, really kind of look like, where can I make an impact in the world, on a spiritual level. Now, the Eight of Wands really has been my Corona card for me. This has been my symbol because the Eight of Wands moves very fast. It's a very swift moving card. The wands are, they can affect you physically. They move very fast. It is in the reverse position. And I just want everyone to know that it is inevitably going to slow down. This is not forever. It is inevitably going to slow down. It's going to have to. Because I really feel society is going to be forced to do it. Now, what is very interesting, I want you to kind of look at Three of Cups. It shows three women, but notice it also shows three women in proximity to each other. They're very close. They're holding the cups right there. They're celebrating. And a lot of people would like to do that. They want to go on these big social functions. They would like to go to church. And even the church is showing, because I've got the Hierophant showing too. See the Hierophant? He can represent the church. And I completely understand that. I do understand why people want to get with their community and get with, like the Christians and so forth, though they are not the only church, of course, but people wanting to congregate spiritually. I have a church I like to go to too, and I wish I could go there and kind of do that myself. But, at the same time, we've got to be really careful, because at the foundation, yes, is death. And this is what we're trying to avoid. We're trying to cut down on this as much as we possibly can. This is very important, that we can't necessarily do all the things that we want to do. And I know during this time, the news is, hearing all this bad news is very frustrating. And even with the news, the Page of Swords can represent hearing, like communication and the news and everything. We do have to be careful what we hear. We're not getting the whole picture. I acknowledge that. I'm not saying, I can trust much of anything anymore. We really got to scrutinize what's going on. But you know what? Death, that is one thing you can't argue with. When people are dead, that's reality. Death has a very good way of showing itself to be reality. And we need to accept that during this time, that this is what's happening and we've got to do everything we can. Now, I also take note the Eight of Swords is here. A lot of people feel trapped in their homes. They can't do what they want to do. Notice how she's very trapped and surrounded by the swords. A lot of people feel like they're being locked up right now. They feel that they're completely trapped and so forth. This is not forever, and that's what people need to understand. I even get to the outcome is the Eight of Cups, especially to be able to journey out of your home and be able to go places and do things. See how he's about to just go on his journey happily? Yes, he had to sacrifice a lot because that's one of the things that Eight of Cups is about. There's a lot of sacrifice. There is a lot of investing into certain things. But at the same time, he will be free to be able to go where he pleases because that's especially Eight of Cups is about, is to get up and go, to go places. It's inevitably going to happen. But please take note, this is at the foundation, okay? We've got the Death card. It stands there as, as a major warning. Spirit is trying to say that please be considerate of other people. Spirit understands your frustration that, you were used to having things a certain way. They completely understand that. And I'm very understanding even of people who just, they're frustrated. Why should I wear a mask? Why should I do this, that? And one of the things I told my group is step back, try not to get angry. Try to understand people on a soul level where they're coming from. People are afraid. People are afraid. And I just drew the Ace of Swords, good communication. Initiate good communication with people. Be understanding of their situation. Try to really understand and get to the heart of the matter, the fear that is going on with them. But for my awakened ones, it is a very trying time. I know a lot of people are afraid, but I especially am seeing, especially when my group has 26,000 people, but especially Spirit is trying to get them to really get out there and use their voice and really get out there and find their purpose and if you were thinking about a spiritual business or becoming a reader or becoming a healer, Spirit is really kind of giving everybody a push. Some are losing jobs, like I have no job anymore. But then a door is going to open. And that's one of the things I'm seeing this happening, that doors are opening. And I just even drew Knight of Pentacles reverse. So that kind of when I pulled that, it makes me feel you may not necessarily go back to your job, because that can be very much within employment. You may not go back to that same job that you were because Spirit wants you to do something completely different. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw a couple oracle cards for the awakened ones, who may be watching right now. A couple oracle cards. And there it is even. So I've got the protection card, call back your power, cut the cord, soul retrieval. And that's especially about that, just protection during this time. I feel like there's a lot of negativity going on. You can even feel the heaviness that is going on right now in the world. It's incredibly heavy what is going on. Protect yourself. Do that shielding. And if people are confronting you angrily, that can impact you. Kind of just set your healthy boundaries and so forth. But if you are forced in a position to communicate with folks, go ahead and try to do it very peacefully. Show your light. This is the time to show your light. And then the Pleiades, double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. And see, that's what I want to do as well. I don't want to bring you down with my reads. I don't want to bring you down. I want you to kind of see what's going on spiritually in the background. We have to really work at uplifting people. Now, do not get me wrong. I do not feel that just showing the positive of everything and the light side of everything, and is an avoidance to real problems going on. It's not. However, we do need to uplift people. It still is a necessary thing because when people get down, they can get even suicidal during this time. They can get very upset and very broken. They're losing their job or their relationships are falling apart, or their kids are falling into all kinds of problems at school. They've got real problems. They need to be uplifted, but especially to know that Spirit is there for them and is trying to empower them to make it through. Let's pull one more. I'm going to pull from a different deck. And this is perfect. I embrace my soul purpose and align all aspects of my life to it fully. Embracing the soul purpose. And that's especially the messages that I want to get out. And that's one of the reasons I want to come to YouTube, is to really get out some messages that you all have a purpose, and you probably sat on something for a while. You've kind of been like, I've thought about taking that Reiki course, but I just don't have time. Or I've always wanted to start my own business, maybe selling sage and crystals and aromatherapy, but there's so many of them. Why should I do it too? People talk themselves out of their soul purpose every day. Don't let it be you. If you're feeling a certain thing, when you have a dream, it's most likely your purpose, and you need to examine that. And you would be surprised if you get in alignment with your purpose, doors are going to open for you once you have figured it out, because spirit is all having your back for that. When you figure out what your purpose is, they're going to open. It doesn't mean there's not going to be an obstacle. I'm not going to lie to you. There could very well be an obstacle, but the door will open. Let it open. But yes, during this time, I know we're going through many challenges and so forth. It's a scary time. It's, I'm not going to say I'm not, afraid sometimes too. I do get a little nervous. I do, but I'm not full of anxiety because I trust the spirit. I really trust the spirit that, as bad as it is, I know one day I'll get an answer to why this had to happen. I don't necessarily claim to know exactly why it has to go this road, but this is what's playing out before our eyes, and one day we'll get our answer. I hope you guys enjoyed my reading.